Hello everyone, I'm Sigve Brekke, the Group CEO of the Telenor Group. Telenor is headquartered here in Norway, small country, but we have actually over the years grown internationally to become a quite global player. More than 180 million customers, operating in 9 markets throughout the Nordics, advanced digital markets, but also in the growth markets in Asia. The purpose we have in Telenor is connecting you to what matters most, empowering societies. And now being in the midst of the COVID-19 situation, never has our purpose been more meaningful for us. But I think that goes for the whole telecom industry. The relevance of connecting people that we actually do every day is being recognized. So now it's up to us to take actually that into a future, that relevance also as a growth opportunity. I'm going to talk about 3 things. One is how I view 5G. Secondly, how I view the transformation and the changes that we are all in the midst of, and leadership goes with that. And thirdly, about partnerships and industry collaboration going forward. Let me start with 5G. I strongly believe in 5G as an opportunity for us actually to get into a growth era. In a way, we wasted an opportunity with 4G because we invested billions of dollars into our networks and paid also billions of dollars in buying spectrum. But we were not able to really monetize those investments. Let's not make that mistake again when it comes to 5G. 5G for me is an opportunity then to use technology to create that growth. The language I know that you are using in TM Forum, you talk about connectivity as a service and you talk about beyond connectivity. Connectivity as a service is something that we already do. And it's a must also going forward. It is a must when it comes to continuous efficiency. It's a must when it comes to utilizing new technology like cloud computing, analytics, APIs, and so on and so forth. But it is basically around the current SIM that we have. Beyond connectivity is how can we actually create a new SIM, to use that terminology. How can we use new technologies like cloud computing, like storage, like analytics? How can we use that and to create new type of services and then monetize and grow from that? So for me, 5G is not really about technology. And I'm not worried about our ability to actually roll out that technology. It's much more about how can I get my business leaders to drive this rather than my CTO. So the question is, how do you do that in practice? And that to my second point, the leadership, the transformation, and the changes. We started traditionally in Telenor when we embarked on the change journey. We started with appointing transformation leaders. And they did a great job because they basically helped us to kind of create some type of platform for the changes that is needed. But I quite quickly saw that changes is not done from the outside. Changes is done when you actually get the business line leaders to drive this. So what we then did was to take one step back and said that change for us is actually to change our core business, not to go into new areas and create new verticals. We'll do that also, but changes has to start from the core. So the first thing we did was to look at our operating model and our governance to figure out how can we actually find a much better definition of the balance between what should be globalized in a global company, what should be localized and be close to the customer interaction, and what should be standardized. And with that, we started to set some ambitious cost targets, because I saw that the main challenge we have actually, it's the legacy we have. It's the proudness of the successes that we have with us from the past. So I had to get people out of that traditional legacy thinking. And one way of doing that was then to set those tough targets, to kind of force almost people to think differently. And when we did that, not only we reduced our costs, and I'm talking about OPEX and CAPEX, but we also challenged people to think alternatively and differently. After that, what we did was to change our incentive systems, because we saw that we need to go from silo organization into much more collaboration. And one of the four behaviors we have is create together. And this was a way for us to get more cross-functional way of working. Then we promoted change leaders, because unfortunately not everyone were able to take that legacy journey that we are talking about. This next step for us now is to start talking about how can we modernize our business. And to do that, we also need to modernize the way we work. So we have used now actually the COVID situation as an advantage. People sitting at the home offices means that we have to change the way we work. And we have said now that after COVID, the new normal for us will be actually not to rush back to the office, but to have a more flexible workday. We have also said that the way we have been able from home office to operate our network operating centers, our call centers, and so on and so forth. Why not take that to the next level? We actually completely implement a system where we have no-touch operations. So we are using this now to modernize the organization, but also to restructure the organization. Flatter organizations, larger span of control, and faster decision making. We have also embarked on a journey where we are putting in more agile way of working. And we are putting our leaders through programs now where they learn how to use that agile methodology. And leadership in itself is important. We call it tight, loose, tight. Leaders need to be clear on setting the direction, so the first tight. Leaders need to be better to let people loose, basically, to figure out, empower them to figure out what to do. And then the last tight is to have a better follow-up system where people also are accountable. Let me move then to my third point, which is industry collaboration. In Telenor, we strongly believe that going forward, none of us are big enough. At least none of us here in Europe are big enough to embark on this digital journey on our own. We need to collaborate. And we believe that collaboration going forward is going to be to change from transactional collaboration, as we are used to through kind of vendor relationship, into much more strategic partnership. But that's not easy to do, because we are not used to do that. So we are working a lot on how do we change the way we look at the industry collaboration through partnerships rather than vendor relationship. We believe then we will see much more of that going forward. We also believe that innovation in the future will mostly happen in those partnerships rather than in the traditional innovation and research center that you have in your own company. But we also believe that you will see collaboration, partnership, and competition happening at the same time. We will hope to see solutions that are being developed one place can then be implementing a bought from someone that even is a competitor. We think that TM Forum has an important place to play here, because we see that the TM Forum is one of the few places where this true collaboration actually happens in practice. I want to then just sum up, my time is up here, with the three main points I have tried to talk about. 5G, for me, is growth, not technology. True transformation, for me, is leadership and change in way of work. And the third point, going forward, we have to be able to form those industry partnerships. And if we do that, strategic partnership, not transactional vendorships, then we all have a chance actually to use technology to create a new growth area for the industry. So that's why we are contributing. That's why we will continue to do that. And with that, thanks a lot for listening to me, and good luck.